Hello and welcome to another Roblox tutorial. In this video, I'll be showing you how to script a camera shake effect, as you see here. So this sort of effect would be good for certain events in your game, such as a rocket launch or an earthquake, where the player really needs to feel immersed. And we do that by shaking the camera uncontrollably, and it leads to this effect. It feels like the ground is moving or something's shaking, something big is blowing up, or something's happening. So if you're interested in that, make sure to watch till the end. And if you enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So let's get started. I'm going to start by going into replicate storage and creating a remote event. And this event I'm going to name set camera shake. And the reason we need this remote event because I'm making this camera shake in the context of an event. So let's say an earthquake happens. The server causes the earthquake. It sends all the clients to set the camera shake to true, and then all the clients' cameras start shaking. Or if you want to be like even more advanced, you could add like a certain proximity. So if they're close enough to the object, then they can fire the camera shake. And we'll add a local script that receives this event and shakes the camera accordingly. So let's do that right now. So in starter player, I'm going to go into starter character scripts and create a local script. And I'm going to name this local script camera shake. We're going to zoom in a little bit. We're going to find replicated storage because that's where our event is stored. So local replicated storage equals game get service replicated storage. There we go. And then local run service. And this is just going to be the run service. Game get service run service. And we're going to use this to bind our camera motions to a render step. So next we're going to define our set camera shake event. Local set camera shake equals replicated storage. Wait for child set camera shake. There we go. And now we need to get our player model, which I guess is our character. So we can do local character equals script.parent, and then local humanoid equals character. Wait for child humanoid. There we go. So we have our character and we have our humanoid. So now let's just set up our basic like infrastructure, and we're gonna do a set camera shake dot on client event connect a function, and we're going to put in a boolean variable right here, which is shaking. So this will just tell us whether we should shake or not. And we can add an if statement. So if is shaking, then we can also add an else. So if it's shaking, we want to start shaking the camera. And the way we're going to do that is by a function that I'm going to define up here, local function shake camera. So using the run service, we can make this function run every single frame and shake the camera depending on a few other math functions. So let's just test this out right now by going run service, bind to render step, and then for the parameters, we're going to set our like render name. So this should be named camera shake so we can unbind it. And then we have to set the random priority, which can be enum.render priority dot camera dot value. Do not forget the dot value. That will break your script if you forget this dot value, because this is just the like render priority value, but you have to say dot value to actually get the integer value. And then we're just going to do +1. So it runs after the camera renders, I believe, or before. I'm not really sure. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. We get the same effect. And then our last parameter is a function that we want to run, which is going to be shake camera. So this is what it looks like right here. So just for a test, we can just do print shaking. And when this event gets fired, it should say shaking. So let's make a server script to test that. Let's go into server script service and create a script. And we don't really have to name the script, it's just for a test. So let's get replicated storage so we can get our remote event, which will be game get service replicated storage. And we can do local set camera shake will be equal to replicated storage, wait for child, set camera shake. There we go. So then right off spawn, we can say set camera shake fire all clients true. And let's just wait a second for the character to load in. So if we were to play this, you can see in the bottom right, it's kind of small, but it's printing shaking every single frame. And I can tell that because of this number right here. It's like going up every single frame, which is exactly what we want. So that's great. And we also need to make sure in our local script to say, if it's not shaking, we want to do run service unbind from render step. And we want to unbind the camera shake name that we defined above. So that's great. So now we can actually write our function to apply camera shake. And the way we're going to do this is by first defining now, which is going to be equal to tick. So tick is a function that returns the seconds since the epoch, which was at January 1st, 1970, I believe. Doesn't really matter. It just changes every single second, so it gives us a different value. And the reason we need a different value is because we're going to use a few math functions to determine what we're going to do. So we're going to find local bobble x will be equal to bobble x, there we go, will be equal to math.cosine or math.cos now times 9 divided by 6. So this may just look like a bunch of numbers, but we can visualize this in a cool little website I found called Graphtoy. So here I am in Graphtoy, and you can see I've unchecked all of these boxes to make all the functions invisible. Now we're going to check the first one, and we're going to get rid of everything and put in our special function. So let me get back to our local script real quick. You see this function math.cosine now times 9 divided by 6. We can bring that straight into Graphtoy, but it uses like more conventional math values, so math.cosine changes to cos, and then now would be x because this is our variable. And that's basically what now is. It's just a random like integer variable. So now if we were to press enter, you can see this is what it looks like. And the reason we're using this for a camera shake is look at how like bumpy it is, but it's consistent. So like normal like linear graphs, like if I were to do x right here, you can see it goes up and goes down, and there's no like bumpiness to it. That's the reason why we're using this function right here. So now we can go back to our demo and we can define bobble y, and this will be equal to math.abs math.sine now times 12 divided by 3. And you could also put this in the Graphtoy, and the reason you'd want to do that is if you want to change any of these values, it's good to visualize what they'll be before you put them in. And now we can make our bobble, which will be equal to a vector3 dot new bobble x, then and bobble y. And then for a z, we'll do 0, and we'll just multiply everything by 5. So now we can set our humanoid.camera offset equal to humanoid.camera offset colon lerp, which we're going to be calling the lerp function on our camera offset, which is a vector3 value. And we're going to send in our bobble, and then for our interval, we'll do 0.25. So this is just basically like lerp the camera in a nice and like animated way. So if we were to run this, you can see as we walk around, our camera is very, very shaky. It works in first person as well. Even put a little shift lock in there, and it just looks kind of nice. And so if you would want to stop this, then you could go to our script and we could wait like 3 seconds and we could do set camera shake, fire all clients, false. There we go. So it should only shake for a few seconds. And then look at that, it stops, which is exactly what we want. So that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did, and comment down below any questions or video suggestions. This is a user requested video, by the way, and he just hit me up on my comment section. But if you want to get in more direct contact with me, make sure to join my Discord server. Link will be in the description. But with that out of the way, I hope you guys have a nice day, and goodbye.